Hello, you guys. How are you today? I am going to show you today how to do sealing wax and wax seals. So, these are the different things that you can do sealing wax with. So you can use a low temperature hot glue gun. This is a large hot glue gun, right? So it takes the larger size sticks, except that this is sealing wax. And so when you put this in the low temperature hot glue gun, it melts it at the perfect temperature. You can squirt out a nice little puddle. And which is so nice because it's a nice circle and you can just press right into it, which is awesome. So I'm going to show you how to just do a basic wax seal. So what you're going to want is you're going to grab this an envelope. And when you're doing it, you have the flap right here. Normally what I actually recommend that you do is if you're going to be sealing your envelope, that you actually I usually put a little bit of glue down and actually glue it. And you don't have to glue the whole thing, just right there at that corner. So then that way when you sit it down, your person can still tuck their finger underneath and pop that off. So I always start out with gluing it down because otherwise you have this flap like flailing in the wind and then you're trying to like melt this wax and press the thing on and then it's crooked and it's like this whole chaotic thing. So I always glue it down first. Then when you're going to squirt this out with the low temperature hot glue gun, and don't worry, I'll go into the one with the wick wax in just a minute here. So you're going to go ahead and squirt this down. You're going to aim to be more on the flap and less on the actual envelope itself. All right, and so I kind of squirt out this nice little puddle here, and you kind of want to go a little bit smaller than the image itself. And so my seal is this big, and you can see that it's about that big. Oh, actually, I'm going to go just a little bit more here. I want a nice amount so that when it squishes out. I'm going to see where my bottom is of my seal so that I can press that down, and then you're going to press right into it. If it's the first one that you're doing, it's probably nice and cool and ready to go. But if you are finding that your seal, you're doing one after the other, your seal's going to get really hot. And so you can sit it on an ice pack while you're waiting for your wax to get nice and hot if you're putting it on with your low temp hot glue gun. And you get that nice, beautiful, crisp image. Oh, love, 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 love. You're going to want to set that to the side and allow it to cool. Okay, all right, so now I'm going to show you about doing the drip wax. All right, you're going to want to use a lighter, not a match, because a match creates soot. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to actually take your scissors and you're going to trim your wick very, very short, okay? I'm talking like so you can barely even see it, okay? Now we're going to grab another envelope here. Sorry, I should have been a little bit more prepared for this. All right, well, that's kind of a cute envelope. Okay, so right here, again, I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. Like so. And then I'm going to go ahead and light this with my lighter here. And now it's going to have a little bit of a flame, and then as it starts to drip, oh, here we go. Work with me later. All right. So this is the part that is kind of time consuming. So you're going to drip, drip, and I'm keeping my candle here. It's still on fire, and I'm actually dripping it, and it's going to be about, I'm not going to use that giant wax seal there. I'm going to use this little one here. And so I'm keeping my wax here probably about 1/4 to 1/2 inch from the top of the envelope, because what's happening here is that if I pull my image way up here, or my wax way up here, one, as the wax is going to do that, but secondly, it's also going to be, it's going to start to cool, and so by having the flame, right here in it, very close by, it's going to keep me that hot. Now to put the flame out, you're going to plop that tip into that hot wax and kind of smear it around a little bit. And that's one, going to make sure all of it's hot, but two, it's going to create, it's going to make it so that there isn't soot that lands in your wax, in your seal. You make sure you know where the bottom is, and you're going to press that down. Okay. So when you have the wick, you're obviously not going to be able to see soot in mine because mine's black, but when you have the wick here and you have it really close by, if you blow out the flame and then you try to put that wick in there and kind of smear it around so it's nice and hot, it's going to create soot. By having it on fire and you plop that flame into the wax, what you're actually creating is a very clean, clear wax color there, and then we're going to pop that off. Oh, that turned out so good. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to make a quick little card. Now, so when you're doing people always do sealing wax on envelopes, which is fun, but honestly, I really like to kind of, you know me, think outside the box a little bit. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut some this floral paper here, which I just love. Love, 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 love. All right, and so I'm going to cut a piece of this out. I always do my decorative papers. I cut them the width at 4 inches so you can get 3 panels out of a piece of paper, and then you can always cut this down to size. So in this case, I'm going to cut this actually at 4.5 because I want a nice amount of space at the bottom of the card. Okay. And I have a piece of white in here somewhere. Oh yeah, you guys, you're going to just have to bear with me while I find my pieces here and cut them down to size. Okay, so I really like the idea of putting a wax seal on a card, because people always put the wax seal on an envelope, but you know what? It's way more fun to have it on the actual card because then you get to actually enjoy it. So that's just my personal opinion. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and layer this on here and then layer this on here because I want a little bit of a separation. I left some space here at the bottom because that's where I'm going to add my little seal and my little bit of twine. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and piece this together here. Doing a dark green card base because I like that color here. Put this here. Now the wax that's in my low temp hot glue gun right now is red, and so which is perfect because my little heart here is also going to be red, which is going to be just perfect for doing that. All right, and then I wanted to stamp a nice little sentiment. The sentiment I really like, wherever it went here, says, "Wishing you lots of smiles," which I really like because it's very joyful right now. Because everyone needs a little bit of joy in their life. And I'm using this Oxide Festive Berries color because it matches really nicely with these reds and pinks in here. It's kind of a pinky red. I'm going to put this right here. Hope that that's straight. Yes, it is. All right, I'm going to mount it right here on the front of my card. Or onto my little strip, not the front of my card. I kind of want this to be on the side. So I'm going to put this right here. It's going to kind of go off the edge a little bit. I like the idea of having this kind of wrap around right now. So I'm coming in from each corner. I like the idea of having a fun little banner like that. I'm going to put glue here and here. All right. I just think that's so cute. I like the idea of having something kind of tuck on the inside there. All right, and then I glued this down ahead of time, and I should not have done that. This is where I'm going to do my sealing wax. Well, you guys get to just bear with me here through the mistakes and everything. Okay. I'll glue that down again in a second because I want to have my little bit of twine here. Should have done my decoration here before I glued that onto my card base, but I didn't. And then I'm going to tie my little knot. I want it to go underneath like this, like so. Oh my goodness. Those of you guys that know me, you're like, Ellie, you are rushing. Yeah, I know. It's because yesterday's video was so long and I felt so bad. I was like, oh my gosh, that ended up being like half an hour. And these little quick videos that I want to share with you, I don't want them to be that long. I just want them to be fun and quick and give you guys ideas and inspire you. All right. What am I doing here? I want this to wrap underneath. Let's see if this is going to let me. Oh, it's because I'm trying to do this upside down. All right, and I'm not going to burn myself. Now, because my sentiment's on this side, I want my wax seal is going to be over here. So I'm going to tie my little knot on this side, if I can handle it, with the very small amount of twine I left myself. There we go. That's what I was trying to accomplish. I'm only going to tie one knot. Some of you are like, but Ellie, it will come untied. Well, we're going to put a wax seal on it, so it will be okay. All right, make sure you don't accidentally pick up your low temperature hot glue gun here and think that it's glue, because it's not. All right. Now I messed up a little bit right here. I got a tiny little dot of, ooh, who knows what it is, but I got a little dot of something, maybe ink. So what I'm gonna do to cover that up, I like to use little tricks and things I have laying around here. I'm gonna use my navy colored Tombow marker, and I'll add tiny little dots kind of here and there if I have space to do so. Okay, so that's in place. So now on the inside of the card, you only see that little chevron, and then on the front side of the card here, we have little, the knot. So we're gonna aim on the knot. This is where we're gonna put the dollop of wax, of sealing wax. And so I want it to be kind of a nice little circle, but it doesn't need to be perfect. And it is a little bit bigger. But the reason is because there's a knot here, and I want to make sure I cover that up so that I get a, so that you can actually see my image. And so what I'm going to actually allow it to do is I'm actually going to allow it to dry just a little bit, so that that way when I come back in and add just a tiny little bit more to cover up that knot there, then it's going to be nice and it's going to be nice and thick. Not like super thick, but an amount that'll actually show my little heart here. All right, press that down. I'm going to press pretty hard. Some people think, oh, you just need a nice light touch, but I press like a nice kind of press into it. And I'm seeing here that I can see the little knot, the color of the knot underneath it. So I'm actually just going to reheat that. And to reheat it, you just press the tip right onto that again, and it will just reheat all of that, which is so nice. Now this is a great opportunity to stick it on your, if you have an ice pack, you can stick it on there. Just make sure that it's nice and cold. Because this is not cold anymore, this is pretty warm, I'm gonna stick it on here and I'm gonna press it pretty hard. And I'm actually gonna let it sit for probably about a good maybe 10 or 15 seconds, because I really wanna make sure that it doesn't, because if it's too hot and you go to pull it away, what's gonna happen is it's actually going to peel the wax up with it too. You wanna make sure that it just holds, it puts that impression in. Ooh, that turned out great. Love it. All right. So we have wishing you lots of smiles. And then because my little mess up here, I'm going to go in and I like to do these little dot groupings where you do a big dot and a couple little ones. I'm going to kind of do that kind of here and there because I like the idea of doing something kind of like that. It just kind of makes it a little bit more complete. And then I'm going to do the same thing up here with wishing you lots of smiles, but with my red. So it just kind of makes it a little bit more, I don't know, a little bit more fun. And then, because I'm doing the dot thing anyway, I have this kind of empty space in here. Oh, let's add some yellow. And I love this color yellow because it's not a bright yellow. It's more of like a mustard yellow, which I love so much. All right. Oh, what a fun and joyful card. Yay. Yay, yay, yay. Thanks for joining me today, guys. I'm learning all about sealing wax. I'll talk to you later.